loved it. All our backup quarterbacks get really live reps. It's our actual practice that goes on the tape. And so yeah, Tom's embraced it. We were already scheduled to use it, and would have used it anyway because Blaine and Griff liked it from last year, and it's good reps for them. But Tom's fallen in love with it too.
How often does he use it? And do you see it translating with him getting those extra reps with the terminology and things like that?
Oh yeah, I mean we use it every single day. Every blitz period, every 7-on-7, everything's filmed, and you go back and watch it again 2 different ways, on tape and virtual.
Thanks.
Okay, next is going to be Greg Allman.
Hey, Coach, you had mentioned Friday after the scrimmage that you had thought about maybe not having a second scrimmage over at the stadium. I just want to ask you what the plan is and what else you might have adjusted after kind of having the chance to see the guys with live reps in the stadium last week.
Yeah, I'd like to get back over there. I don't know if we'll actually do a live tackling scrimmage, but we're planning on having a practice over there, similar to what we practice here, but be in the stadium to get some of the same atmosphere and hopefully the noise again when Tom's out there.
Normally at this stage in the preseason, when there's one game left, the hay's in the barn, so to speak, you kind of know for the most part who your guys are going to be, what decisions. How much would you say is still up in the air in terms of decisions you have to make with your roster?
Probably six or 8 spots. Still, every day. I mean, they missed 400 reps, so I mean, we're still going in pads like it was the first day. It was the first week of training camp. Because of that missed time, and guys have missed all those reps. So, yeah, there's still guys fighting spots every single day.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, next is going to be Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach, I know it was the opening drive, so much of that is also dictated by flow of the game, but you guys had a 16-play drive on the first drive of your scrimmage. I know so many people also associate you with no risk it, no biscuit, taking shots down the field versus thinking and dunking. Would you be okay if your offense, though, took more of that dink and dunk approach? I mean, I know it also depends on how defenses are lining up against you and everything, but would you be okay with that type of approach with your new quarterback, even if it resulted in fewer possessions?
Definitely. If we're going to go 16 plays for a touchdown, I'd take it every single time. And, it keeps our defense off the field, obviously eats up the clock, and you're scoring points. So anything that scores touchdowns, I'm all for. I mean, the worst thing in the world is have a quick score after your defense has been on the field for 10 or 12 plays. So everything's in a team game, but I mean, we had shots called and we didn't hit them. So take the underneath stuff. So the quarterbacks always depends where the ball goes.
And also, you had said that, you wanted your players to think about some possible action that they would take regarding social justice. And I know that a few days have passed since we last talked to you about that, but I didn't know if any players had approached you with some ideas. Obviously, the NBA now, they have decided to use these arenas as polling sites in November. Have any players approached you about ideas they have?
Well, we have making sure all our players are registered to vote today and tomorrow. We have voting information here to make sure every single player is registered to vote today and coach today and tomorrow. Our council has talked. We've got some great ideas, I think, for what the social justice program is going to do this year. Darcy Kasowitz heads that up, and she'll be speaking to the team very, very shortly about our plan this year, and I think it's an excellent one.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Okay, next we're going to have Ira Kaufman.
Morning, Bruce. Bruce, we're less than 2 weeks away from that big trip to the Superdome, and you're kind of still looking at kickers. Bruce, is it an overstatement to use the word it's an unsettling feeling at this point regarding the kicking situation?
Yes and no. I mean, whoever we line up out there, we're going to have confidence in. And, both these guys have been really, really good. They both had a bad day or two. We'll look at some other people, see if they're any better, just like we do every single position, just like the waiver wire when everybody makes their cuts. Those last 5 guys are never safe. So I don't look at it as any different than those situations.
Okay, next is going to be Rick Stroud.
Hey, Bruce, join you a minute late, but I'm curious, what was Tom Brady's reaction to the way practice went on Sunday, and how did they look? How'd you look today? What was your reaction to practice today?
Yeah, Tom was upset, probably upset as I was, and he wasn't as sharp as he's been either.
Right.
So it's just like I told him in the middle of practice, if you have to start saying, "Hey, let's go," it's way too late. And but yeah, today was a great practice. Both sides. I thought the offense bounced back and had a hell of a day, and defensively we had some moments too.
You've been with AQ Shipley for three different stops, I guess. Just tell us, how a guy like that, 34 years old, 6 different teams, what it is about him that makes him able to still be a player, and what's his role? Is he here to compete? Is he here to be a versatile backup? Just where do you see him landing?
Yeah, first of all, we drafted him in Pittsburgh and watched him bounce around, and then got him in, and he was a different player when I got him in Indy.
Right.
So yeah, he's one of those. He's a survivor. He's a very bright, tough guy. That's what you want in the offensive. Everybody's told him he's too short, and his arms are too short, and he can't play. But he's just been playing for 14 years, or whatever it is. And yeah, he gives us quality depth. I was a little concerned with our interior, especially if Ryan were to get injured with a center. Q gives us a guy that can go and play all 3 spots, or Jensen can play all 3 spots as we keep developing interior linemen.
Thanks.
Okay, our next question is coming from Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, the Bucs had 47 sacks last year, second most in franchise history with Shaq and JPP combining for over half of that. Can your team reach that number again, or even top 50? And if you believe that's the case, what leads you to that conclusion?
First of all, if we're number 1 against the run again this year, teams will be throwing it, and I would expect us to get more than 50. But we got to stay or be better than the run defense.
That's the key then.
Definitely make them one-dimensional.
Appreciate it, Bruce. Thank you.
You bet.
And next is Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce. I know you said the team has missed 400 snaps with the offseason workout not being done, but have the starters caught up to a level that you're content with right now, or are they still way behind as a group?
Oh, I wouldn't think we're way behind at all. I think we're really close. I think, by Wednesday of this week, I think we'll be where we need to be, and we'll start shutting down a lot of the hitting and making sure we're getting ready.
Okay, next is going to be Steve Isbitz. All right, we'll go over to Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I'd want to ask you about your last defensive line spots. I don't know if you end up carrying 5 or 6 at that position, but I know you brought Kyle Love in, and just want to ask you how he's been compared to, say, Ledbetter or O'Connor or the rookie Potoa'e.
All those guys have been excellent. Pat gives us great versatility. So he right now is also a good special teams player, but Love he's a vet. He knows how to play the game. He knows he's a good run stuffer. The other young guys, they're solid. I think Davis has really picked his stuff up and is playing the run really, really well and rushing the passer well. So, but yeah, I think Pat is the guy that has separated himself.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go back to Steve Isbitz.
Coach, the expanded veteran practice squad this year, does that give you new and unique opportunities when it comes to kicker or really any other specific position?
Yeah, you would never anticipate having a backup punter or kicker or snapper on a practice squad with the limited numbers, but this is a unique year to where you could possibly have those type of players on your practice squad, preferably a guy who can punt and kick. Would be a eligible practice squad guy, and a player who can snap but can also play just in case of the virus.
And Coach, earlier today, I don't know if you heard, but Leonard Fournette was released by the Jaguars. Is he a guy that might interest you?
We'll wait and see. He's been a good player. we'll just have to wait and see where he fits.
All right, we have time for a few more. Next is going to be Ira Kaufman.
Bruce, for 20 years, we're hearing, you got to rush Drew Brees up the middle. He's short. You got to get in the passing lanes. But Bruce, every year you can't sack the guy. I mean, and last year you played him once. You didn't sack him. What do the Saints do so well to protect the interior, and what makes Brees so tough to put on the ground?
The ball comes out very, very fast. I mean, you're not going to show him very many coverages he hasn't seen. You're not showing him very many blitzes he hasn't seen. He's very extremely well coached, and he's been in that system now for a long time. So you're not going to trick him. Somebody's just got to whip somebody, and they got a good offensive line. But that's the thing. Disrupting him and getting him off the spot is just as important as sacking him sometimes.
All right, we have time for two more. We're going to go to Scott Reynolds, followed by Jenna William.
Hey, Bruce, you guys had 12 interceptions last year, only 2 from the safety position. Where does that number have to be in your mind in terms of the takeaways for your defense to help your team get into the playoffs? I
would think catch the about 6 we dropped, whatever position they might have been. But yeah, just continue getting turnovers. And we did a good job of taking it away. We can do a little better. We had some fumbles that we didn't get to. We created some that we didn't get, and just increase that margin.
All right, our last question comes from Jenna Lane.
Coach, you had said at the end of last year that in week 1, the difference between your team and the New Orleans Saints is that the Saints knew they were going to win the division that week. What does your team have to do to get to a point where they can walk into week 1 and truly believe that they've got the tools and what it takes to be able to be the team that wins the division, to be the team to beat this year? What has to change?
I think they already have that. I don't think there's a doubt in our mind that we stay healthy and that our football team is good enough to win our division.
That's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.